Greetings and salutations. Ben and Charles here. Y'all right about there. And it's a Sunday night hanging right here on Sundays because the name says. It took me years to figure out such a unique name. I didn't come up with it. To tell you the truth, it was Aaron from Elvis Band. He actually came up with the name. So there we are. And special night as always. I believe hang 17, 18. I don't know. I'm losing track at this point. We're almost legal at this point, Charles.
I don't even want to know by this point. I just make up numbers that are really big and just talk about it like I have all the answers on it. It's all good. This is one of my favorite hangs, period, on YouTube. My history with you, Ben Coombs, I totally just, I want to thank you for it. This is one of my most special places. I get to hang with special people here. I get to see the water buffaloes primarily in this chat. Right. I have not seen enough of them lately. A lot of shit going on. I mean, you know,
it's kind of your busy time of year, right?
Well, funny you say that. We had an office meeting July the 5th, not the 4th.
Right.
But I get to enjoy the week. I'm probably going to work on the 4th, ironically. And the 4th is the Friday, I believe. Don't get on me if I'm wrong. But as of the 5th, I go to a 5-day work week. And I'm home by 6:30 on Friday.
Yay.
So, and that's cast in stone at this point. I'm going to make it stone. Everybody's agreed on it, and it's just the way things need to be. This YouTube world that I've gotten involved in, it demands time. It demands me to be able to have a weekend and actually interact with you guys on your channels, which I want to apologize. I have not been doing that lately. For a few months now, and it bugs me a little bit. I have to play catch up. I have to watch a lot, and I do. It's amazing how much content I actually catch after the fact.
Sure.
My whole existence is at work. I enjoy Under the Bus Network makes me laugh. OU812 crew keeps me impressed and makes me laugh constantly. Show they had the other night was. It was epic. It was epic.
And you have more. Yeah, what, 6 hours last night? Are you kidding me?
You know, without taking away from anybody, I just want to give just for R2R3, and all you guys kick ass, but I'm going to talk about R2R3 just real quick. Once again, out of the park, Crying in the Rain, White Snake. I can't say it enough. It's just ironic that on my show, I was talking about how much I wanted to hear it again. And I literally come home, I walk up to the computer, I click it on, I go to OU812, and he is 2 seconds away from starting the song. And I was like, wow, thank you.
Karma is
Somebody
real,
smiling on my ass today. That's pretty cool.
I've been saying it for 7 years. Karma is real.
And he knocked it out of the park, and it hasn't landed. So once again, I always shout the whole premise to me and Mitch, and by the way, shout out to Mitch Heyman. Love you, brother. He is my partner in crime. We just want to interact with you guys and do it the way we want to do it and have fun. And that's all we're about, is having fun. We try not to get too serious. Life's serious enough. So we keep it incredibly light, but we want to rock. We want to play guitar. I mean, you guys know the story. I've been down now it's been 4 months, wearing a hand brace for the last couple of months, dealing with, arthritic fingers and tendonitis, which I've never had it before. I don't know if it was a bad case or a typical case for guys who,
It sucks.
What was that, brother?
It sucks bad. It really sucks.
Oh man. Well, when it first started, I was doing a lot of modes. I was, I'm taking guitar lessons. I have a wonderful guitar teacher. And I was just burying myself in various modes and trying to articulate them and make every note ring out exactly the same and play them slow and then faster and faster. And I'll tell you what, I took my whatever was tendonitis and I threw it into hyperspace. Woke up in the middle of the night one night and my wrist was burning in a way that right in my forearm, fingers just numb. And but I'm glad to say no wrist brace. I haven't had it on since yesterday. I wore it a little bit yesterday, but I have almost all the feeling back in my 2 middle fingers. They're still a little numb, but I can feel guitar strings, and I can play guitar right now. So, yeah. So, I'm gonna play a song for you guys tonight. Maybe 2. We'll see how things go. My day went just completely different than it was supposed to. Just completely different than it was supposed to. I woke up this morning, ended up going on what was supposed to be a short service call, ended up hooking with an electrician buddy. We ended up going on a little route of things that we just took care of. I had an incredibly efficient day. I didn't do anything that I wanted to do. I did not have much of a day off of any kind. This is my day off right now, spending time with you guys. Yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way. So, I didn't get to do my guitar lesson I was going to do with Guitar Talk Universe. I was going to go on and watch the Friday show with Steve and Quentin and do a Dorian mode lesson. I missed their show today at 5, their extra special show. So I'm going to catch that after this and keep plugging on, man. Just keep plugging on, you know.
Well, we got a bunch of people in here. I suppose we should say hi to. We got 48 people watching, which is always nice. Hit the like if you haven't already. We got first in the chat at 1 p.m. today. Not shocked at all. We have a good friend Earl Colai in here. Ask what we're drinking tonight. I have an A&W root beer on the go, Earl.
Right on, Earl.
Then we got Mark Taft in the chat. Everyone's favorite roadie, including mine.
You rock, Mark.
Dan Gorman in the house. Great to see Dan.
Dan Rock.
L Bar J, Cushman NYC, Charles 75N. He had a great show today with Steve Rezer was on.
Steve Rezer was on today. Yes. I got to catch that rerun.
Ian's Guitar Shack is here. Awesome. Who else do we have here? Mark Spurgeon. He's out of Alaska.
Right on, Mark.
The birthday boy himself, Dastardly Dave. Hang on.
What a rocker.
No, he won't do it Quentin style, but. There we go. Happy birthday.
Right on.
Dastardly one.
Right on, man. Excellent.
I'm more in tune with the birthday greetings than that Quentin guy. I'm just saying. But I don't sing it.
They do say that a Quentin James drive-by for your birthday is priceless, though.
It is.
Actually, it is priceless. It is.
It is. There's our favorite musical-in-law, Ryan Hall, y'all.
Right on, Ryan.
Hope the knee's doing well.
Right
Not
on,
too painful
Ryan.
Today. We're all saying hey to each other. There's brother Edward R. Nugent Jr. He's switching his show to Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Mondays at 5, folks. Effective July 7th. So mark your calendars accordingly. Ferd Burfle's here, the Grand Poobah himself.
Right on, Ferd.
Great to see Ferd.
Right, bro.
There is Mitch Heyman. What's up,
Mitch?
Great to see you.
Mitch.
Eston Ray in the house. Great to see Eston. Hip Metal Works.
Eston, right on, man. Hey, Hip Metal.
Yeah. Gracie Monkey Guitars. He's a cool cat. He's got some stories. Whew.
Right on.
Greasy, you need to reach out to me. You're on Charles' show. Now you got to come on here. You're going to need to do this show. Just saying. He's got stories working at various places back in the day. There's newly retired and birthday this past week, Jim. Jim just retired on Friday.
Birthday, Jim. Right on, bro. He's living the dream now.
He is. It's good. He's going to hang out that shingle. Boutique amplifiers. If you got the money, I got the circuits. Terry's 3G is here. Great
right on, Terry.
Who else? There's Steve. Steve! If I actually come out and say his name correctly, he'll just unfriend me in every way, shape, and form. So, Steve.
If you say it wrong enough times, Ben, it becomes correct, and it's all good, and he'll just have to live with it.
Call it an accent. It's an accent. That's what it is.
I'm joking, Steve. That's all kidding, brother. Right on, man.
I speak it in the Canadian vernacular. No, I don't. Blue Mox is here. Great to see Blue Mox.
Right on, Blue.
Unfucking Believable is here.
Right on.
Great to see Chris.
Right on, bro.
They're all saying, where's Munch Michelli? He's in the house.
Right on, brother.
See Steve. Who else we got here? Eston Razor. There's Brother Ed and Mark Spurgeon and Blue Mox and Jim. They're all talking to each other. There is Trev. Brother Trev.
Right on, Trev. Right on, Trev.
Who I'm
Very
thinking
cool,
the
man.
lead instigator on the 6-hour hang last night. You know, he likes doing long hangs. Yeah, BC Rich 581 is here.
Right
He's
on,
had a rough
BC
week,
Rich.
and hopefully we'll take your mind off things for an hour or so. How about that?
Oh, I hope so, BC Rich. Right on, bro.
Yeah. Papa Blue is here. Great to see
Good to
Papa
see
Blue.
Papa. Right on, man.
Who else we got here? Marcel LeBlanc.
Right on, Marcel. Very cool.
Montreal main man. I don't know. I was going with M. I'm like, what do we got for M? Jeez Louise. All right, we'll work something out. Victor Beebe is here. Aloha.
Right on, Victor. Right on,
Who
man.
else we got here? They're all talking to each other. That's fine. Michael B in the house. Great to see Michael
Very
B.
cool, Michael. Right on, man.
Zach Thong.
Zach. Hey,
Can we just
We
call
all saw
Zach the
Zach-
newest YouTube sensation, Charles? Zach
I just
Thong
want to
is the newest-
say, he and Edward Nugent inspire the hell out of me to play guitar, and I'm just really proud of them. They couldn't have picked a better platform to come onto and do it. Those guys, they're not so. Well, that John Disdain, he's a little scary, but other than John, I'm just kidding. I love John. He's a sweetheart. He couldn't have picked a better channel. And so he's there. I expect to see a lot more of Zach playing.
You just wait.
I loved it.
I think it's going to be the Newport Folk Festival all over again when Zach Thong goes electric.
Yeah, baby.
You know what I'm
Right
saying?
on.
Because he's been teasing us. He bought a new telly. I know he wants some work done on a Strat of his. He's got a pedal board on the go, interfaces, and all this stuff. Oh yeah, you watch out, folks. Jean Liette is here.
Right on,
Good to
John.
see Jean. Arf is in and out. He's working. He's
Right on,
moving to
Arf.
winter soon.
Woof.
Who else we got here? They're all talking. There's Ryan, the chief bottle washer over the OU crew.
Oh, Ryan, right on, man.
Just noticed new title. Listened to Community Jam last night, Charles. It was the Saturday Hang. I went, wow, that's an original name. He left out the night at least. If it was a Saturday night hang, then you've totally ripped off my cousin Doug, who just ripped off me by a day. I'm just saying.
Hey,
I love it.
if I start talking about Ryan, I will go down a rabbit hole.
Right.
He has literally single-handedly changed my YouTube direction. I feel like it was sort of meant to be. I didn't expect it. It came out of nowhere. This is the last show from this platform I'm using, the Focusrite with the DI box coming through Reaper, using Lander, all the work that Mitch Heyman and Charles 75N and Joe Wentz, those three guys right there, and put Joe and Charles aside, they put in hours and gave up like time on their weekend. Mitch Heyman has put in I don't even know how many hours he's put into keeping us afloat and keeping us rolling. We had our 1-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. Didn't ever see that coming.
Right.
But I'm unhooking after this show today. I'm unhooking stuff, and I'm changing over to a Roadcaster. It's a piece of technology. I've watched a couple of videos. I kind of have a
Well, if you watch two videos, you're an expert according to YouTube. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't know about all that, but everything's pretty. At this point, I know the computer's gonna work fine. I know the Roadcaster works, and it's funny. This Roadcaster over here, this thing's got I think I've got some of the OU812's mojo in this Roadcaster. I hear Summer Nights every once in a while at like 2 a.m. It's in this box, and I hear Summer Nights, and I'm like, what? I'm just saying, guys, there's magic in that damn thing. Every song those guys have played, it's been on their channel. I wear that proudly. I just cannot wait. That hopefully, keep your fingers crossed. Might even do a test video, a test run or something with Mitch one day this week. I don't know. I'm optimistic that it'll be a quick changeover. Getting tone out of us, Ryan has sold me this Synergy amp, and I've never really had a piece of gear quite like this. It's pretty high end. It's a high end piece of gear, and it's new technology. I've definitely never had anything like it. It's very new technology, and I don't even me and Ben. I'm just talking to the chat real quick because Ben and I talked about this. I get to build a pedal board and actually utilize pedals for once when I play guitar, which I have never done on YouTube or really on a little bit. I think I tried it once when I was using, it wasn't on YouTube. It was just going MIDI through an HD 500. And so that's really not that's an effects console. It's not the same. But that's really the only, using this type of platform. I've obviously, my, by the way, I changed the room around a little bit. We've got guitars on the walls, and there's half stack and stuff back over there. I'm going to start playing with that a little bit too, but
nice.
Primarily we want to make an environment that's,
every once in a while you do need to pay
show.
You need to play at pants shaking volume every once in a while. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We still got a bunch of people here to shout out. Holy crap. Devil's Horn, Alien Head, Rob Blackmore official from Glace Bay.
Rock, Rob.
We got our brother Paul McNary in the house.
Right on, Paul.
Great to see you.
Paul rocks, man. Paul rocks.
Eddie Van Haskell. My wrist hurts from burping my tuna. Well, that'll happen.
Nice.
That's I'm not sure how to comment on that. That's fine. Billy Baloney's here. Great to see Billy.
Right on, Billy.
Who else do I see in here? Jeff K is here.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Oh, they're all saying hey to each other. It's probably a social. Hey, it's Guitar Man 45. Imagine that. Great to see Bo.
Right on, Bo.
I'm surprised Bo's not out checking out. He's been checking out more live music lately. Holy crap. And posting it for us, which is great. If you haven't already, check out his channel. Keith H is in the house.
It's good to see you, Keith. Yeah, all the Eric Gales stuff that Bo just put up. In fact, you know what? I do this shit in real time, so let me just real quick. Hey, Bo, will you let me know in the chat if it's okay if I show one of your videos that you posted off our social media of Eric Gales? I'm just going to say it like this. Holy shit.
Right?
Impressive. It'll be really good for us to watch. Us guitar players in the chat will enjoy it, and everybody else will get a big kick out of it because it is absolutely badass. And Bo's video is outstanding.
It is.
It's outstanding. So
I watched all the stuff he put up. Richard Nagamitsu is in the house. He's in your neighborhood.
It's good to see you, Richard. Right on, man.
Right McCall on, Music.
I still haven't hooked up with Richard to actually meet up with him. We need to make that happen, Richard. Right. You're way too close to me, brother. And we go to the film. Music and we go to the underground.
Matt was live yesterday with Trev and Hip.
Hey, I heard the hard heavy rock song that Matt did on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was absolutely badass. I loved it. You want to talk about getting into the bass tones there, man? I love it. He always has good original stuff, man, and that's awesome. That's awesome. Right on, bro.
Mr. Mick is here.
Right on, Mick.
Great to see Mr. Mick. Brother. I'm almost caught up. What? No, I can't be. Let's see. Yeah. And yes, we are caught up. Yay! 65 people watching. Hit the like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Nice. Unbelievable. Asked earlier what microphone you're using, of all things to ask.
This is a Rode. The model. I don't remember the model.
There you go.
Let me see if it's on here. You know what? I'm sorry, bro. I don't know the model. It's like $150 mic. That's what it is. There
The
are
Rode
some other
Pod
choices
mic.
I could have made.
Of course, Ryan
Interesting.
knows. Of course,
Yeah,
Ryan.
yeah. It's called the Rode Pod. That's exactly what it is. Thank you, Ryan. I like it. It's functioned really well for me.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know enough about tech gear like this to really have a wide, broad opinion on it. This has worked really good, and I think it, and I don't utilize what I could. I can put all kinds of little subtleties to this mic, to my voice, if I want to. I just don't do it, When I start singing along with these songs I'm playing, guys, no, that's never going to happen. If it does, somebody's going to have to tackle me. You really don't want to go down that road.
You're bragging, Bo, about all your views on your video. That's great.
Oh, man, it was beautiful, Bo.
Yeah,
right
Bo's
on, man.
Like, so is that he comes on a post-show hang on Monday, Charles, and he's like, so my Soap Girls video, it's got 700 views. Is that normal? And all of us that do YouTube are looking at him like, fuck you, Bo. You know how hard it is to get 700 fucking views? He's like, oh, it's at 1,200.
They don't just fall out of the flipping sky like that. I'll tell you that, man. And last week, he's like, it's funny. There's no show tonight at the machine shop. There's no show tonight. It was just, and he's like talking about like it's so odd, just because it is. I swear, Ben, there's some rocking places in the world, but for some reason, Flint, Michigan, have they got nothing better to do? I mean, I just want to know what the hell, dude.
I'd say in today's day and age, it's a variety of things. Location, yes. Being not directly in Detroit, so the cost is lower, but you can still pull from the Detroit market as well, surrounding cities in Michigan. Reputation is a big thing, and
everybody plays there.
Everybody. I know the acts. Like I can pretty much tell you what their overhead is on a nightly basis based on who they got going through there. We have a couple similar venues here, which usually when you play the machine shop, you're playing the Rock Pile in Toronto the night after or the night before type thing. Because the Rock Pile's basically all the same artists kind of come through for the most part, especially the legacy acts. So, yeah, and it's great to see, I was shocked that Bo had put up some Faster Pussycat footage, which, honestly, let's be honest, Charles, it's Tane Down and four guys named Who.
Yeah.
Which is, let's face reality, that's what it is quite often. But my God, what a great sounding band. Tane sounds just as good as ever, which
that's right.
If you listen, you listen to him 40 years ago, you're like, oh, your voice isn't going to last. But it has, if not, sounds just, they might be down a half step. Okay, I think we're all down a half step at this point.
Yeah, I really noticed it on this last go-round with Sammy Hagar. It was one of the most blatant, noticeable. We're obviously going to tune down a full step, man. Screw that half step shit. We're going a full step, and I noticed it. It really does affect the music. But one of the best things, other than getting to meet like Frank C and stuff, I'm getting some kind of a blip right now in my earphones. I'm going to come out and go back in. I'm hearing a little
clipping all of a sudden.
I'll go out and come back in.
Okay.
I'll refresh.
While he's refreshing, we got a question from Arf. Question for Ben and Charles and everyone in the chat. Have you any tips on moving guitars with a moving company? I was just going to have the movers just load them in the cases and go. No. Well, for distance, I don't think I would. Okay, for this time of year, especially, detune all of your guitars. If you're an E standard, tune them down to basically C. Because if they're going to be sitting in heat in a hot trailer at all for more than a few hours, that doesn't do good things to guitars, especially acoustic guitars. Expect it to be a bumpy ride. So by that, I would say, like if you got a Les Paul that's in a hard shell case, wrap a towel around the headstock to give it some support. If guitars can move around in the cases at all, you got to pack your t-shirts anyways. Pack them out. Pack the guitars in tight in around, and take the slack off the strings. Make sure they are secure in the cases, moving around as well as up and down. And that's a big thing. They need to be stable in the cases because, like I say, they hit the brakes hard. They slide around. A lot of guitars, there's movement in cases, unless it's a custom case or a case designed for that exact model guitar. That would be my advice. What's up, William McConnell? Good to see you. What about taping the latches shut? Yes. Keeps hungry fingers from prying into your gear. As much security is the thing. If you have keys for the cases, lock the cases. Or Matt says move them yourself. Yeah, I don't know if RF has that option. All right, Charles is back.
Am I back?
You're back. You sound good.
It's weird. I just started closing everything out, and it wasn't Reaper, and it wasn't StreamYard. It was the StreamYard link between Facebook and us. For some reason, when I turned Facebook off, which was the window was still open,
right?
I don't know, but I heard it and it was messing me up. So I don't know if you guys heard it, but
it was there was a little bit of clicking, or
it was a lot
almost like static, but not constant.
Yeah. Let me do something real quick. Let me activate my guitar and make sure my guitar is not doing it. There should be just a little. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, we're good. Yeah. I don't know what it was, guys. I apologize.
Matt says Charles is hard panned right.
Talk about my voice.
Apparently.
My voice is panned right?
Yeah, Zach's been to the Rock Pile in Toronto. Yeah, it's a cool venue. I played there myself. Yeah, that'd be good. The Red Dragon Cartel gig. I was supposed to go up to that, but I didn't.
Is my my audio good now?
Yeah, here, I'm just going to bump you up a bit more.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Cool. Right on, guys.
Ben the Center, Charles is hard right. I don't know, Matt. I don't have headphones on, but I'll take your word for it.
It's
we'll deal with
straight in my ears.
Yeah.
Right now, let me go into settings real quick. Make sure everything's cool. That was weird. It just happened out of left field. Nope. Echo's off. Stereo is on.
Could be because stereo is on.
Well,
it'll pan
stereo. It's okay. I'm running Lander. It fixes everything. Let me check my Lander here real quick. Lander's fine. I don't know. It could just be a
Jack Collins,
but we'll go with it for now. Right on.
Well, it'll be hard right for everybody unless they have the speakers set up backwards. It'll be hard left for them.
Right. It just happened all of a sudden. That's the weird thing. Hey, maybe it's a good thing I'm finally changing all this over and getting something new like a Roadcaster to stop this madness.
There we go. And then, and we've got lots of people that can do tech support on that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got lifelines.
Mitch says, turn your mic track a little. I don't know what that means.
Turn my mic track a little. Okay, let me check it out. Talk about it in Reaper. Going to my mic track. Okay, so you guys say I'm panned hard right. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will, when I do this, I'll do it at the mic.
Could be StreamYard. That's like 2 in 1.
I'll be honest. You know what? Maybe I should go out and come back in again.
Yeah, let's try that once more. Why not?
Because seriously, nothing has been changed in here.
Yeah, and it only takes a minute.
Back up. Let me do that. I want to play guitar for you guys. I don't want this to screw up. Right. I'll be right back. Right on, guys. Give me a second.
Actually, kind of cool. Charles on the right side of the screen. I like that. Yeah. Well, it's good, Eston and everybody else. Charles will be lower volume than me because I don't have echo cancellation disabled. So I have a much lower headroom, which boosts my voice as opposed to... It's like when I play guitar on Mondays, I'm much quieter because you have to disable that feature to play guitar, which causes an echoing with more than one person on. Go figure, echo cancellation. but it also raises the headroom considerably, which allows us to play guitar and such at a decent volume. So yeah, what else we got on? And I see your question there, Rick. I will ask that when Charles gets back, because I can't answer for him in that respect. And also, just a reminder, this week I will be back tomorrow with Canucks with Guitars. We'll be doing live Q&A and some live jams. No bad album covers, though. There's no Charles, no Trev, so just deal with it. All right. Also, for demos this week, don't know, haven't done them yet. Hopefully, I'm going out either tomorrow or Tuesday to shoot demos. What else? Oh, Water Buffalo meeting this coming Saturday on the 5th. There's that to look forward to. That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me. And run for a couple hours usually. Ben, you should make a trip. Where? I don't have a passport, Rick. And I have no desire to road trip, really. More than an hour. Maybe 2. Yeah. I'm a casual Priest fan. I don't think I would drive 20 hours to see Judas Priest. Actually, I don't think I would drive 20 hours to see any band. Would I? Unless I'm on stage. I'll drive 20 hours to be on stage and get paid like Priest. Ooh, yes. But I would, if I was to see Priest, I'd just wait till they come to Toronto. Then wait, it's 100 miles and a shit ton of hotel room cost. Fine, I just stayed at. Well, I'm a hermit. Oh, you know that. Excellent, Ed. Yeah, I would have to get a passport. Yeah, that's a hassle. That's like 2 months right there. Thunder Mug, and I might. Right, Matt? All right. Charles is back.
Is that better?
That sounds more centered.
I haven't done anything but go out and come back in.
Well, because that's all okay, though. Yeah,
now it sounds more centered. It sounds more centered, and I'm louder and more dynamic in my ears.
Yeah, so
I
probably
don't know.
just one side just wasn't working, so it was half volume.
I have no idea, guys.
Well, there we are, folks. Yay! Digital.
Right on, guys. Hey,
why
technical difficulties. What do you want?
This is why I stick to tubes, folks.
Right on.
Richard Nagamitsu was asking if you are going to see Judas Priest on September 20th.
I thought about it. I actually, I was telling a story on my show the other night. I had texted Fruitcake Tony. You know, he's sort of my North Carolina crony for going to shows, and anything that's, you know, we're on to that, we'll jump on it. We're going to, you know, WVH for my birthday in November. And there's several shows that I'm going to see. I'm sure a couple of them will elude me, but that's one that me and a couple of my kids will go see. We caught them. In fact, I went live. I think, I went live last year when they were at the PNC. So, yes, I am. And if you're going, we need to hook up, Richard. We definitely need to hook up.
We need to hook up. I'm like, honestly, you know, I'm a casual fan of Judas Priest, but I ain't driving 20 hours to see Judas Priest.
I do understand that. But I'd have driven 20 hours in the 80s to see Judas Priest. Guaranteed, man.
It'd be a great hang. You know, don't get me wrong. It'd be a great hang. You know, but I was like, I don't think I drive 20 hours to see any band. I drive 20 hours to perform and get paid like Priest. You know, that I will gladly do, but at best, I might drive into Toronto to see a show.
You know, I noticed, Matt, the red dot on my camera, it's right there, isn't it? I noticed that. What can I do about that? Can I just put something over the dot? I've been noticing that lately, and I meant to do something about it, but I always get caught up in the show, and I don't ever. There's a little red dot right there.
There you go. Right, September. See, same tour. See, now, no offense, Charles and Rick, but I can just go see Priest with Alice Cooper with Mark. And that's Molson Amphitheater, which is in Toronto. There we go.
Also, Foo Fighters are supposed to be coming, Richard.
Are That'd be a good show.
Breaking Benjamin is coming again. That's a family one. Avenged Sevenfold, I believe, are coming. God, I'm so sorry. I should have thought about it and made a list. It's several bands. Some of them are my kids' bands, and there's a couple that one's from like Sweden. There's another one called Sabadon that Logan really loves. They're cool live. I dig it. They're from Sweden as well. Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Richard, are we Facebook friends? We've got to be Facebook friends. If not, we need to find each other, and that will solve a lot of the lack of hooking up on between you and me at these shows.
Bo says he's going to see Avenged Sevenfold as well. His daughter likes them.
Yeah, absolutely. No, there's a bunch of other bands. I'm not even... Dude, everybody who can still perform is touring, period. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's Marty Friedman's going to come back.
Well, because really that's kind of the biggest way to make a buck if you want to be a professional musician. You got to get out there and play. You know, it's not album sales. It's not merch sales. It's that live experience. You know, like the others do, you know, you have a merch table, don't get me wrong, or online store, people ordering T-shirts and stuff, but it's not compared to, you know, $5,000 a night. I'm just saying. Or more.
Yeah.
What's up, Doc?
You, brother.
River Doc's in the house.
Right on, bro. Good to see you, man.
Yeah. Always.
Yep. Going to see Avenged. Your daughter likes them. Absolutely. Robin Trower.
Ooh, $600 though. Oofta.
You know, that's a shame. It really is. That's my brother's favorite guitar player, musician.
Hey, Brian's here.
When Bridge of Signs came out, man, he went down just a Trower rabbit hole, and he hadn't come back, dude. I lost my brother to Robin Trower, bro. It was totally okay. I was totally okay with it. Him and Dickie Betts. My brother's 15 years. My older brother Rich is 15 years older than me, so he was into the Doors in L.A. back in the day. He used to do the same thing in Hollywood that I did, just that he was, 15 years earlier. Right. So all the stuff that was going on in the 60s and the rioting and stuff, it was his era. That was his thing. So he remembers the Doors and the carnival music coming out of the whiskey. Ray Manzarek playing that fucking B3 organ, at Hammond B3 organ. It just, you could hear it down the street. Sure. Just fantastic. Fantastic, man.
Good to see Brian here, searching for tone.
It's good to see you, Brian. Right on, man. Right on. Right on, Brian.
Trower makes his strat sing. He does.
Nobody sounds like Robin Trower either.
Nope. Well, and Richard Eggman says, I love going to shows with my kids. Nice. Well, I don't have any kids. I have a cat, and the cat really doesn't like going to live shows. She's rather antisocial and doesn't like loud stuff, so...
I went to Billy Idol just a couple of weeks ago with my two daughters, Taylor and Ashley.
He's been putting on amazing shows for
decades. Well, I had seats that were maybe 100 feet from the stage, under the shit. I mean, PNC. I had beautiful seats. I was going to film the whole show. I had it all planned out. It's funny how many times my plans do not go the way I want them to. I just want to say that, okay? But we get there, and the lawn was supposed to be closed, and I come walking up, and my daughter sees it, and she says, "Oh, the lawn's open. Oh, it's open, and we got to go to the..." I'm like, "But we've got seats." No. It's tradition. Richard, it's tradition. We, as a family, we have this spot. It's within 30 yards of itself. It's next to a concession stand where you can get all the alcohol and all the food you want. And it's just wonderful, right? And so I gave up my seats to Billy Idol to go up there and sit with my daughters. And it was priceless. It was priceless. Anyway, we're going to get together, Richard. That's awesome. And by the way, Ben, I just want to point out, when are you coming down here for a NASCAR race?
I've kind of given up on NASCAR, Charles.
Well, NASCAR has not given up on you. If you want to do that after we have a get together here, and I get a lot of photos and pictures together with you, and we have us some wonderful content, then you can give up NASCAR. How does that sound?
I'd rather come just hang out with you guys anyways, to be honest.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, unfortunately, those who were friends in that community aren't really friends anymore, and then also that combined with the lack of quality in the racing series itself, it's just...
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there. You are right. There is a big shift. It's been occurring now for a while.
I don't like everything being the same, and that's in a lot of series. Spec racing, they all run the same chassis. I lose interest real fast in that. But part of it was the experience too, is when they had both the All-Star race and the 600. So you spent 2 weeks down there, and it made the drive worth it in many ways. And now the infrastructure is different. Like Doug's, he still has the camper, but it's now he keeps it at a seasonal trailer park, basically campground. So it's
he's dry docked his camper. I hear it. That's cool.
That's
awesome.
In the past, but even then, I don't even think he's following the series any of it anymore either. He gets down there for Rock Hill though, for cornhole stuff, because his bosses are based in Rock Hill. So
a lot of my customers are either NASCAR mechanics, NASCAR pit crew, or drivers, and
makes sense.
We have a pretty big chunk of NASCAR people that we service, and that's a huge group. They take over there's a part between China Grove and Concord.
Right.
It is just NASCAR country, dude.
Oh yeah.
I go past Dale Earnhardt Enterprises at least once a week, and it's out in the country. It's literally country.
That's Annapolis, and it's all long grass.
But to the point of what I was getting to though is I've noticed in the last, because I've been going by there for a very number of years.
Sure.
In the last year and a half, the activity there. And even after Dale had his accident, there was still tons of activity. I mean, there are huge. They are racing. I mean, they are freaking NASCAR. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed just the other day I went by and there was just a couple of cars, and it looks like kind of a ghost town.
Yeah, just caretakers maintaining the building.
Yeah, I noticed that. That kind of saddens me.
Yeah, it's like I used to be a bunch of shops around the Concord Airport, and they're kind of gone now, and everything's kind of up in Mooresville, which it's not forever away.
Yeah, Mooresville too. That's part of that whole NASCAR thing too, as well.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, it definitely goes up to Mooresville and up to Statesville.
Yep, Statesville. I want to say Huntersville.
Pretty much. Yeah, sure, Huntersville, absolutely.
I know the area.
Pretty much everything north. Take the 77 straight up out of Charlotte and head north, and that's everything we just named essentially.
South, there was just as many to the south as there was to the north, and
whole
the whole South Carolina contingent is all gone. That's all gone.
Well, Hendrick has their main hub of operations right just in what would be considered South Central Charlotte.
Yeah.
So they're still down there, and that's
Hendrick Motorsports is right behind the trailer park outside of Concord.
Yes,
which I think is ironic.
Yes.
You have to drive through the trailer park to get to his facility.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, their main offices and their main thing is now South Charlotte.
And I think part of that is for the Hendrick Motor Group, because he owns, don't get me wrong, over 600 car dealerships at this point.
Isn't that just ridiculous?
That's mind-boggling. Like,
I know.
How much money is generated by 600 car dealerships? Like, you figure they're all going to make a bit of money. I'm not saying they're all making millions a day or anything, but times 600. Hey, what's up, GMT Art and Music? What's up, Glenn?
Right on, man. It's good to see you, bro. The Childress Winery is a very cool place. You're absolutely right, Richard.
It's right across.
Absolutely right.
Basically,
it's very cool.
Across the road from the old race shop, I want to say, as opposed to the new race shop, which is down the road, which is that's all welcome, North Carolina.
And Richard's got all. I'm a North Carolina guy, but Richard's got all the facts. He's also Sammy Hagar just opened a restaurant here in Charlotte. It's kind of a big deal.
Yes.
We're probably going to go check it out.
Awesome. There, Seth Lee, the California Customs.
Right on, bro. Right on, man. Right on. God, hey, before my computer glitches again, can I play a song for you guys?
I was just thinking that.
This is one of the last songs I'm going to play with this rig and this whole deal and all this. And, it's only fitting to do this on Ben Coombs' channel.
I'm even going to do a fancy thing. I'm going to go like this.
I want a do-over on this song. I tried it a couple of times the last couple of weeks. The first time I was wearing a hand brace, it didn't go well. I couldn't reach to the string. I couldn't reach to the strings I needed. But then I tried it again, but I didn't have any warm-up, and I had just taken my brace off, and I was premature big time.
This guy warm up.
But,
so, before the show, we did a sound test. He's like, I haven't warmed up at all. I'm like, Jesus, all right, whatever. I hate to see you warmed up, Charles. I'm just saying.
I think it'll go a little better than the last couple of times, and if this goes okay, maybe I can play another song. I'm looking forward to getting back into playing guitar, especially with all of my cronies. I miss you guys. I will see you soon. I'm going under. I'll be back in a minute. Right on.
Hit that like if you haven't already, folks. I hear you.
Loaded like a freight train, flying like an aeroplane.
Am I back?
You're back. You're back like a heart attack. What the hell? Sounded good, brother.
Was it all right?
See, Rob Blackmore says one word: smoking.
Thank you, Rob. Right on, man. Right on.
Showed up just in time. I'm just saying. And who else did I see?
Right on. Charles 75N. You rock, bro.
Dimebag in here, and who else did I see? Yeah, Dimebag Coins, and I saw somebody else. I forgot. Well, if they say something else.
Oh, you guys always show me a lot of love. I really appreciate you guys, man. Right on. Right on, Charles. I miss Charles, man. I haven't.
Message from Steve. He says, "Boom! Look at Devil's Horns, craziness, Devil's Horns. Fuck yeah, Charles Greene, fire!"
Oh, that's awesome, guys. I can feel the strings. It's just, and it's getting better. It's better today than it was yesterday. I keep saying it. I knock on flipping wood every day. My numbness is good. You know, it's less and less.
It's similar to it's like the worst case. Like after the tinnitus, the worst case of like dead arm or your hand falling asleep. Essentially, it just takes forever to wake up, and every day it wakes up a little more.
Yeah, well, it was really weird because I've never had anything like this before, but I've been beating the shit out of my hands my whole life. Well, we all do it, right? But I just want to say I really gave it an excellent shot. And so I, from my middle finger to my palm, essentially, and to my wrist, I was getting this like lump on my palm. It looked like the Great Wall of China. That's what I was referring to it as. And it's really not there anymore. It's gone away. And so it's, knock on wood, guys. It's all good, man. I'm anticipating the future being really bright, having good tone. I always listen to the playback, and I'm always, okay, this Helix Native has been the best experience I've had this far. So far, there's a couple of patches. Eric Broadbent, you guys may know who he is. He had a patch called Boston's Pizza, which is a real great Van Halen-y, chorusy, over the top, lots of gain. It's reverby. It's badass. It's a very, very good patch. I really like that. But what I just played with just now is a very dry. It's their version of an they call it the Angle Meteor, as opposed to an Engle Fireball. So that's the head, and it's got almost. There's nothing on it. I've got the head there. There's a little bit of reverb. Damn, that's it. There's an amp and a cab.
For that track, you need to have it's a pretty straightforward tone. It's
the tone. It's funny because when we were listening to the tone by itself, it really sounds kind of lackluster. But
because we were saying
when
that
you
before the show, I was
put
like,
it in the mix.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you sound a little thin there, Chuck. But then
you put it in the mix,
and it just not only does it sit well, it sits very well in the mix.
Yeah,
and especially in the mix, it was sounding more Slash like that. Like out of the mix, I was like, Slash doesn't sound like that. But then in the mix, I was like, wow, that sounds like Slash. That's weird.
I'll never sound like him anyway. He, a lot of those licks I'm doing, I am not putting the blues vibe that he puts on. His licks are not necessarily. Now, some of his stuff gets a little intricate, but he loves to fragment and link things together. He likes 3 or 4 of these, and he puts 3 or 4 of those. He plays them very fast. It almost makes no sense. In fact, there's a lick that he plays at the end of the song I just played in Night Train that really doesn't make any sense. The lick makes no sense unless you look at it from a theory standpoint.
Yeah.
Then it makes perfect sense.
Right.
But he's playing it. It's like he's going forwards and backwards, and linking it together. It's brilliant. I'm trying to learn it so I can bring it. I cut 20 seconds off the end of that song that's all just blues soloing that Slash does. I anticipate maybe getting a little better at it and being able to, I'll come back to that song. It's just part of the repertoire of songs that we do.
I think with his playing, similar to Jimmy Page, but the mixture of minor and major together.
Yes.
You know, like
I see it.
Slash is way smoother than Jimmy. Jimmy's always been a very fragmented player, almost like frantic at times. It seems kind of rushed, which I always enjoyed about it because his playing seems so improv. Whereas Slash, it's just like so with Joe Perry, much smoother, liquid, which makes sense because Slash very much a Joe Perry fan. And
yes, absolutely.
The blending of it's like I want Jimmy's notes, but with Joe Perry's feel.
Oh yeah. Bo, that's not a Destroyer. That's a Jackson Kelly. That white guitar right there on the stand, that's a Jackson Kelly. That's a really good playing Jackson Kelly, actually. I love that guitar. I've got about 9 more guitars that I've never really brought out. You guys have never even seen them.
I was thinking that, Rick. I didn't say it. Well, yeah, you take the heroin addiction of Jimmy, mix it with the cocaine addiction of Joe, you put it together. Don't put it. You'll have a heart attack, folks. We're all too old for that shit.
There's actually a lot of truth in that statement. It changed music. You want to get mad at people who do drugs. Well, all that music we've been listening to that we love from the 60s and 70s, please, you want to talk about.
But I'll also say most drugs are a young man's game. You need the body of a 20-year-old to handle that shit.
I'll say this publicly. If I had it to do over again, I would have never done hard drugs. I don't consider marijuana a hard drug either. I consider that something completely different. Yeah. I don't put it in the category of your cocaine or your heroin or your speed or any of those things. It won't devastate your life.
One's natural, one's a chemical.
Thank you. One you'll sell your soul for, and the other one you'll just be depressed you don't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Quite literally. So, you got to put things in perspective. But anyway, right on, man. I got another song. If you guys want to hear another song, I got to change guitars. You want me to play another song, Mitch? Mitch, I just called you Mitch.
You called me Mitch.
That's how much I rely on my brother, Mitch Heyman. I'll tell you what.
No, I get it's muscle memory, Charles. That's what that is. You play a song. I got, it's like entertain the crowd, Mitch. Well, I got to switch guitars. Well, apparently everyone's saying yes. So.
If I just called you Mitch, that's a compliment. It's meant as a compliment, Ben. I'll tell you what, man.
I get it. So, yes, any questions or comments? Dragging it out a little between songs. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, Edward. Yeah, it's right there. That's it right there. It's got the Caleb Rappaport strap on it. A really good strap. Very comfortable, guys. It's imitated after a banjo strap. That's why it's so comfortable.
Banjo straps.
I'm giving away Lewis's secrets. Sorry, Lewis. Let me make sure.
Well, he's right here to defend himself, so there you go.
I love Lewis, man. Every Christmas, it's been a tradition now for the last two Christmases. Christmases, is that a word?
Yes.
Fairfield guitar straps. I swear to God, he's taking the whole thing over, man. He's going to be the king of guitar strap world in just a couple of years. I love Lewis. All right, guys.
It's funny you mentioned that.
Go ahead, Ben.
What was it the other day? Oh, I was going through and I found a bunch of Levy stuff. Like I've been a Levy strap guy for years and years, and it was funny because it was like I've been a fan of their stuff for years. Quality product, Canadian made, which is rare. There's not a lot of Canadian products out there or whatever. Made in Nova Scotia, very cool. And then it was like one of the first events I went to as a YouTuber. They had a booth there. And basically, just, love your stuff. Like I was pointing out, I've got one like that style, one that style. And I don't know. I got 3 or 4 or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, we can't give you any straps today because it was a retail show, like Sweetwater Gear Fest type thing. Mm-hmm. But he's like, here. And he basically, they were giving me a little bit of swag to hooked me up. Like, shirts and hats and buttons and stickers.
Dude.
Like, I'm going to say $200 worth of stuff.
Wow.
Like, shirts are $20, hats, any of the keychains, blah, blah, blah. Here's my business card. And then, after that, it was half price, basically, artist pricing. And I was like, I'm just playing, like, in bar bands at that time. And then shortly thereafter, I stopped. And then it was funny because the other day, I've had straps I've never really used from them. And I feel bad about it. But because they'll sit on a guitar in here, but I don't play standing up as often as I should. And I don't gig anymore. So it's not... But it's like I want to use them in a sense so I'm going to start playing standing up more, folks. What I'm going to say, because I'd like to pay it back to them in many ways because they were just like, oh yeah, cool, blah blah. It's like I'm a nobody. What's up, Miguel? So yeah.
Hey, that's funny. I was listening to Dastardly. I was reading Dastardly Dave's and Miguel's comment to Richard. He's having a disagreement with the wife right now. It's a guitar disagreement. Which EVH to buy?
Right.
You want a Wolfgang, and your wife wants you to get a Frankie. And I'll just have to say that Dastardly Dave. I think it was Dave here who's really got it in order here. You need to get both so that your wife and you can both be happy. So let it be written. Right on, brother.
Yeah, because they're not the same guitar. They're very different guitars, really. One's the Super Strat, and one's... I don't know. It's the Wolfgang is literally the love child of a Tele and a Les Paul, with an added trem system. Ironically enough, it's the amalgamation of two hardtails, but with a trem.
You know what I noticed? The difference between, because there's a Frankie hanging right there. That's a Frankie straight up. Mm-hmm. It's a really good replica, actually. The difference between that guitar and this guitar is this guitar, the way that the geometry of the neck and the body come together, it's a shorter scale length by overall. The scale length is correct. It's not different here, but it appears to be different. The whole
guitar is shrunk down. Yes, I've noticed that when I was playing my Wolfgang the other day. Everything is very right. You're playing very much to the right.
But you thoroughly adjust to that immediately. I noticed it at first, and I was like, wow, that's really strange, because when I look down, I used to look with a Strat, I look down, I see the 12th fret, 12 and 13. Right now, I look down, I see 15, 16. Okay, so that's a good 2-inch difference. But the biggest difference I notice is this guitar that I have right now is just one neck. It's like you're holding a neck. When you have the Floyd and the nut, it's just like having a neck, and the body is sort of out of the equation. Mm-hmm. Is how it feels when you're playing it. It's really well balanced.
I played a Wolfgang for the first time. I was convinced it has to be Gibson length or shorter because it was such a small guitar. Because I was playing Tellies all the time, and I was at JJ's house. And he's like, "No, brother," and we held them up, nut to nut, and it's a Fender scale length. But when you look, the headstock ends. It's only 2/3 the length of a Telly headstock, and the body's only 2/3 as long. They removed like 6 inches, 8 inches off this entire thing. Yeah. And I thought, well, because then it's like look at like Ryan Steinberger. Like, oh, that's a 3/4 size, Charles. No, it's the same scale length. We just got rid of all the superfluous around it that makes it look like a much bigger guitar.
Yeah, and so it's like you're like playing a neck. It's like you've got a neck. The difference with a Strat, because that's what a Frankie is. You put your arm on the body when you play the guitar. That's why that cutout is there on the Strat right there at the top of the body here. This, you don't even need it. Now, they do it with the newer Wolfgangs. Now, this is a PV. This is after a PV Wolfgangs. This is a Chris Lock custom. It's not a true Wolfgang EVH. But I swear it plays just as good, if not better, than your average Wolfgang.
Yeah, they're full of crap on that too. If they say Wolfgang necks are the same as the Ernie Ball necks, no, they're not. Not even close. Because I have both. Literally, I switch from one to the other, and I rarely do that, Charles. Just yesterday, 2 days ago, and I went, "Whoa!" It was like grabbing an Ibanez. Like the Wolfgang's neck is noticeably thinner, let alone not asymmetrical.
Well,
asymmetrical.
this is not what I would call a thin neck. This is a medium C. Is really what this neck is. There's plenty of neck here.
Yep.
I really would have preferred it if it was a little bit flatter profile, but it's not. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I love it. Guitar necks don't have to be all the same to like to play different ones. You can play different necks and be very happy with them. They just have to be set up correctly and suit you. You know, I mean, every one of these guitars behind me has a different neck, with the exception of the Hot for Teacher and the Motley Crue right there. They're the same guitar. They were CNC'd on the same machine. Donnie Ward did the hand finish work on the neck. Those are just killer guitars, But they're the only two I have that have the same. They're identical, actually, but everything else is different. So, I don't know what's better: thin, thick, fat, medium. Every guitar's different. You know, that Telly that Charles is doing for me.
Nope.
That's got a really great neck. It doesn't feel like a Strat. It doesn't feel like a Jaguar. I would say it's more like a Jaguar neck than anything. I don't own a Jaguar, but Jaguar necks are a little different than Strat neck. Well, the ones that I played were. I don't know if that was a across the board thing. I found that but
traditionally they're a little bigger than a Strat neck, and a Telly neck usually is just a touch bigger than a Strat neck. Really, like they're very close. Some Kush.
Right on,
having
Kush.
Played a lot of Tellys and Strats over the years. A lot.
I see. Well, you got Telly-itis. You got it bad. You got the itis bad, Ben. You and all the water buffaloes, for that matter. You guys really, what that is, the water buffaloes is just really a cover for a Telly support group for all you guys, man. I'll tell you what, you're the Telliest playing guys I have ever seen. I've been
in more Gibson territory the last year or so. It goes in phases, because like playing equally both over, I don't know how many years. I go through a Telly phase. That's why I end up, like, my main guitar was a Telly with humbucker, but it was mixing a Telly and a Les Paul together.
Yeah.
And that's the current thing is I'm hopefully by the end of this year, I will get a Les Paul again, because I don't currently own a Les Paul and haven't. I have an Epiphone Les Paul that I've had, but it's falling apart and it's kind of worn out. I want an actual Gibson Les Paul standard.
It is really strange you're saying that, Ben. Just this week, I own a lot of guitars. I have not bought a Gibson Les Paul, whether it be just a standard or whatever, just what we know as a traditional Gibson. You know what Hack has. He's got the itis bad for Les Pauls. And I literally said to myself, you know what? You need to get a real Les Paul. You've got a real amp now.
Well, that's the thing. I've got variants. I've got the Wolfgang, kind of does a Les Paul thing. The Ernie Ball Access kind of does the Les Paul. Kind of, though. It's like 8/10 of the way. It's there, but it's not quite the same as just Gibson pickups and a Gibson, like whatever that mojo is they do.
Yes.
Which is different than other companies that build a dual humbucker guitar. This
Washburn that I just played is known. It's actually known as the poor man's Les Paul. It's a mahogany body with a mahogany set neck with an ebony fretboard. They're not stainless steel frets, but they're an incredibly good composition of nickel.
Which is fine with me.
And it's got bells and whistles. It has Grover tuners. It's got a, I can't think of the name of it, but it's got it's called the Fine Something Bridge System Intonation. It's a wonderful flipping guitar. I mean, wonderful. And it is as Les Paul as you can get. But it does not sound or play like a Les Paul.
Well, see, now, Patrick, that's the other thing. I'm trying to tell myself I don't need two Les Pauls, but I kind of do, because I need one with humbuckers and one with P90s.
See, there's the sickness right there. There.
There's the P90 Les Paul. Again, Gibson P90s sound different than other P90s. And it's not four. It's a sickness. Like Keith's like, Explorer covers it. No, it does not. Explorer has its own unique tone to a Les Paul, built by the same company. Not sounds. Or the worst was, Charles, when I demoed that Gibson Flying V a little while back, the Ivory. When I played an F chord, I heard something that I haven't heard in any of my other guitars. And you always hear people would bring Flying V. You'd never see them play a Flying V on stage, like, for instance, Paul Stanley. Throughout Kiss is Great, he played Flying Vs mostly in the studio. Why? Because they sound different than Ace's Les Pauls, both going through the same amps. And I get it, because sonically it had a different, for lack of a term, honk. There was a honkiness to it, similar to how a Strat has. There's a mid thing, and when I hit the F chord, I'm like, as soon as I'm shooting the demo, Charles, I hit the F chord, I'm thinking to myself, immediately, I'm like, fuck, I need a Les Paul. I need a V. I hate Flying Vs. They're uncomfortable to play, but they're the thing sonically that I need now in my life. Great.
I gave my V as a gift to my daughter Taylor because I got tired of never playing it. I sit down now, it's uncomfortable, and it needed some love. It really did, but it became obsolete to me. Mm-hmm. And you're right, they sound different.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe tone wood's a real thing. I know it is, that the mass of wood changes the tone, because I had an Ibanez.
Everything affects it.
Well, but one of the first mods I did on a guitar back, and I'm talking like 13 years ago, I had this, it was an ART Series 100 Ibanez, one of the very inexpensive Les Paulish Ibanezes. And the neck on it was a baseball bat. And I mean, like, worse than an Epiphone baseball bat. And I hated it. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to take some of the mass off the back of the neck. I did it very carefully. I got pretty good skills in a wood shop. And I did a wonderful job. I went inside, measured the depth of the nut. I did everything I needed to do, and I took off, probably 3/16 of an inch to almost... Yeah, a full 3/16 of an inch, which doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, you take it off the back of a guitar neck, it feels like your boot was removed from it. I mean, it's massive. And the first thing I noticed was the mass of wood was less, and the guitar's tone was lighter and airier. Mm-hmm. It was airier, more airier. I don't know any way to describe it. Mm-hmm. And so that was my first lesson, that changes matter. Whether it's a pickup, whether it's the composition of brass you have, it might be subtle, it might be massive.
Greasy measure. My Flying V has that nasty, snotty mid-range honk. Exactly. That's the nasty, snotty mid-range, but in a good way.
Yeah. When I went through my Michael Schenker phase, I had to have a V. I've had other guitars, but I had a V. It was a nice one. It was a dime V is what it was. Dimebag Darrell, Dean. It was a Dean. I ended up selling it. I regret that. That was actually a V that I really loved, because another problem with that Randy Rhodes Jackson I gave my daughter, the input jack was right inside the bottom of the bottom V, and if you're sitting down and trying to play, even using an L jack was just digging into your leg. It sucked. Yeah. It wasn't functional in any fashion for any length of time.
No.
But I do love Jackson necks.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jackson necks. They're wonderful. They remind me, they're a little ESP-like in the feel.
I find Jackson falls right between ESP and Ibanez.
I believe you. That's exactly what I think. That's what I think. I love an Ibanez neck. Ibanez necks, if I had to, if somebody said, here, this is an Ibanez, you have to play it, period, tough shit. This is what you're going to play. I'd be like, thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
Lizard necks do allow a certain dexterity, especially if you play the more classical style with the planted thumb on the middle of the back of the neck. For instance, I can't do it anymore because my thumbs are fucked up. That's why I now play Bukovac style and Hendrick style. Always wrap my thumb over the top of the neck because I have to avoid hand cramping.
Yeah,
that's how I have to. I have to use the meat of the hand to brace the chords because I can't use my thumb to, like a bar chord. Forget it.
I get it. I understand. I'll
do it.
And so the shape of the neck for you is very important. Very important.
I'm getting away from that. Fortunately, playing a shit ton of different guitars helps with that.
And you do play a shit ton.
if you
You
don't
play
follow
more
the
guitars than
rhyme.
anybody I know, almost.
I do
I'll
play
say
it
that,
well.
man. How many guitar? You should find out how many guitars you've played, actually done a demo up there at Lone and McQuaid on your channel. That's a ridiculous
approaching
number.
300 in the latest run, because I started basically 2 years ago.
Wow.
June of 2 years ago. And that's 2 a week
Wow.
minimum since then. And that's not including previous ones, doing other music stores, playing my own gear, playing friends' gear. Like, I'm going to say I've played 600 guitars in the last decade.
I would say so.
You
You played my Epiphone. You did a review of my Epiphone. I was like, hey, he's got my guitar. Yeah, Epiphones are a trip. I love them.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I realize this, Epiphone's as good as a Gibson. It's not even the same fucking animal. It just happens to look similar. It's not the geometry. It's not the wood. It's not the same guitar. It's not going to sound the same, and the dynamic of it isn't. However, they are fine instruments, and they vary in range. You can pay $300 for an Epiphone. You can pay $750 for an Epiphone. You can pay $1,400 for an Epiphone. And they have some beautiful
guitars. The Epiphone Greenie, for instance, which retails for $2,000 Canadian, right? But I played it and I went, "This is a Gibson with poly paint," because like a lot of that inspired by Gibson shit. Yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid, Charles, because I'll tell you, I played. They sound 99% the same, because the only difference is the paint, and the paint will affect ever so slight. I'm not Jack White saying colors make a difference, but poly paint versus a nitro paint.
Are they using Gibson wood?
Using
Gibson woods, probably.
It's all part of the soup. We're using sea salt instead of regular salt. Or salt. It's going to be that different. It's not going to change the whole overall dish, but it's going to be that one little ingredient that makes it a little different. Other than that, the pickups are great. The electronics are great. The necks feel great. The build quality.
I love Ibanez. I love the fact that Ibanez had the literal balls to copy every great guitar that came out. They did a copy of it,
right.
And then we're going to sue you. And sometimes they got sued, and other times they won lawsuits, and other times they backed down. But if you've got lawsuit Ibanez guitars, hang on to those bad boys. They are spectacular instruments. I bet Bo's got a couple.
Play something before we wrap things up here, since we got the other guitar out. I suppose felt good.
Yeah, let's play a song, guys. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is the last guitar song I'm gonna play, and this is the last time I'm doing it on this gear, on this rig. Right on. It's all good. I'll be back.
Coming through nicely.
Kill for day, I'll shoot to
I'm glad I got to go out in style. That's not bad. That's all right. I'm happy with that. Hopefully things will get better.
Not too shabby
Things
for a YouTuber.
hopefully will get better. I can get back into my guitar lessons, and
Wait till
I'm
you get
having to
your
look at the
ring
guitar neck to see where my fingers are going still. And that's a pain in the ass. Because I realize when you're first starting, but after a while with the muscle memory, I'm not supposed to have to look where my middle finger is going to go. It should just, So, well, yeah, anyway, I have to make sure the finger hits the right spot.
It's funny you mentioned that because, like, one thing's gigging these days, you always have somebody there with a camera, right? Take some photos of the band so we can promote, the shows, whatever. So I had a nice DSLR camera and shooting a bunch of photos, and they would do a photo dump in Google. Sarah's going through, he goes, for fuck's sakes, I'm like, what? He goes, I got like 85 photos of you, yeah? There's 2 where you're not looking at your fucking left hand. I said, what can I say?
Hey.
I'm busy.
Hey, it's life, man. Look, guys, I will say this. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself once again on this channel with Ben Coombs and you guys. I love this community. I love this whole YouTube thing we got going on. The future is very bright.
It is.
God, I don't know what to say, man. Thank you for having me on again, Ben. I really do cherish this. We've lost Fruitcake Tony. Tony's still fine, but his show is no longer. Let me rephrase how I'm saying shit right now. No, Tony's fine. But we don't get ahead. This is about me. I'm being selfish right now. I miss the hell out of Brendan and Edward and Tony and the whole vibe of the show. There's a place missing, and it sucks. I'm trying to reach out to Tony just to hear his voice. It's really I know this sounds kind of cheesy and lame, but it's the truth, man. He's my bro, and I want his endeavors beyond YouTube to not only be good, but I want him to be better than YouTube. Right. I look back and say I see what he's given up and all the work he put into it. Holy crap. 5 years, guys. Jeez, dude. It's major. Look who I'm talking to, Ben Coombs. One of the kings of YouTube, dude. Look, bro, I was watching I saw an episode just to bring up.
That's for sure.
Well, your history on YouTube goes way back on other channels, Nez says. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, David Nesdall. You and Ty Price and David Nesdall kicked guitar ass on a weekly basis.
That was
epic
so
proportion
to do. I do miss doing that show because it was funny because in a sense, like I told Dave, like especially when it changed from Nez Says to Guitar Town Hall and he made me the official co-host, whatever, right? And he's like, so what do you want to do, partner? I'm like, first of all, no, it's your show. I'm just Ed McMahon. I'm just here to have fun. Because similar to in personality wise, Dave and our good friend Charles 75N. Similar, very nice, straightforward personality, great guys.
Classy, very classy.
Class clown. I don't have to be serious. So, I tell them, it's your show. Somebody does a super chat, it's yours. I don't want, I'm not here for that. I just want to hang out. And I said to him, honestly, I said, the only payment I want is if we do a show with a guest and we have a really good hang, and I'll ask if it's okay if you pass along their contact info so I can keep in touch with them and maybe have them on my channel. And he's like,
outstanding.
And it was funny because like my channel was always about 4 times the size, but it wasn't about that. It was all about Dave and his show and having fun over there. And it was a different vibe. And it was funny
that show was
he say to me,
he was so special.
And he would say, I did a Van Halen show for 10 years. I don't want to do a Van Halen show. I don't want to do a Van Halen. But once a month, not only would we do a Van Halen show, but it would be an epic Van Halen. Because I'm like, I'm good too, dude. Like, I like Eddie, but there's dozens of other guitar players I just assume talk about. And he's like, yep, same deal. Because he felt pigeonholed. But he's such an expert on the subject. And with his, friends in the community, like, we were the first to have Chris Locke on for a show.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I got Chris Locke and Donnie Ward coming on. I'm like, I know those names. Why do I? And
Yeah.
he reminds me, and I'm like, oh, right. I'm like, well, this is going to be fun because I have questions, and I can again be the idiot and say, because I didn't nerd out to the level that some of us in the community have, so I'm able to pick brains of experts, and I'm like, oh, I was wondering about this, and they're like, oh yeah, because and they'll tell you, oh yeah, because they'll tell you that photo you saw was from this time, this place, blah blah blah. All right, easy.
Your ability, I remember you at NAMM. You were interviewing people. You didn't. One of your best interviews you've ever done is David Friedman. You brought him in, and you just. I mean, my God! And I'm a big David. He's a rock star to me.
Right.
Friedman Amplification. He's way cool. Super nice guy. He's a lot like Adam Reaver in the businessman.
Happy birthday, Adam Reaver! It's Adam Reaver's birthday today.
Right on, Adam. Shoot, man. Happy birthday, bro. Right on, dude.
Happy birthday this morning. Bing! Yeah, and it was funny because Adam and I would always make a point of hooking up at NAMM. And again, on paper, like say, I'm the Telly Les Paul guy. He's the Super Strat guy, but we just became friends. Adam sponsored my first trip to NAMM. Like, he was the one that issued, or I had the NAMM pass. The name was Boogie Bodies was on my.
That's
NAMM
right.
pass. It wasn't even FU-Tone. It was Boogie Bodies. I was the only person at NAMM with a Boogie Bodies NAMM pass.
That's so cool. And you still got the pass, right?
Name and
do you still have the pass, Ben? Do you still have the pass?
Oh.
Badass. That's priceless. Priceless.
Let's see. Flip side. Oh, there we go.
Freaking priceless.
Right. And for those who know, Boogie Bodies is kind of a important little legacy brand, if you say, in a way.
Oh, yeah. Major.
Yeah.
You could
non-exhibitor.
You could do a show on Boogie Bodies. You could do a show on Boogie Bodies.
I could.
You could invite 5 guests, and they would all have input. It'd be fantastic.
I have 2 Boogie Bodies necks in the workshop to go on guitars at some point in time, because the wood division of FU-Tone is still Boogie Bodies. So when I bought a couple of necks off Adam, which, if you're going to buy a neck with a locking, like, don't get me wrong, Donnie Ward does great necks, Charles, but if you need a neck, like, say a Charvel neck with a locking nut, nice thing about buying it off Adam is it's a Boogie Bodies neck with an FU-Tone locking nut.
That's right. That's right. And that is actually extra special. Right? FU-Tone gear is as. I've never bought anything from FU-Tone that wasn't absolutely did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I went, oh wow, that's cool. It's worth it. It's just worth it. It's worth it. And once you get into using his stuff, his website. Buying a Floyd on his site is as good as Christmas, man. Building your own Floyd.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Ben. I got to get going here pretty soon, but I did want to make sure that we covered a couple of things. I got to build a pedal board.
Yes.
I don't exactly. Well, I know what pedals I might want, but I'm going to hit you up here. Just not on the show, just in general, and ask a little guidance on pedals. Because of the type of amp I have here, there's some pedals I simply don't need, and just. But now that I've got pedals, I mean, you're like a pedal king. I don't know how many between you and some. There's a couple of you Water Buffalo boys. I'm not going to call you out by name, but you need help. Okay,
I have a lot less
200 freaking pedals is enough pedals, guys. That's all I'm saying.
I pared down. I sold over half my pedals, so I'm only at about 50 or 60 now.
Awesome, excellent.
Yeah, with about
anyway, reaching out to the community. The other thing is this. Once I get a profile of the pedals that I need, I'm going to want a course pedal. I'm going to want a delay pedal.
Who knows pedals locally, Richard can definitely hit
okay, Richard. Excellent. And
he's the guy. He shows up at the Water Buffalo meeting, and he's like, oh, I just got this, Ben. What do you think? I'm like, I've never even heard of them. It was, cool guys, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
boutique pedals? Or are you talking just
Oh, very boutique. Yeah.
Excellent.
That's me.
I don't have those kind of requirements. I need badass tone. I just want
Badass tone with boutique pedals.
I don't know how to do all that stuff. Although I am delving into some Helsinki, Finland metal, and it's in drop tone. I won't go into all of it, but there's acoustic guitar involved in it, and I'm gonna need some patches that are very special and very unique that I have never even tried to capture. I really don't exactly. In fact, I'm going to probably show it. I'll let Richard let you, Ben, listen to some tones of what I'm talking about. You tell me what they are.
That's what I use. I just use an acoustic.
I'm not looking for anything crazy. You can get a lot of great tones out of just basic pedals that we use normally. Whether it be a phase shifter or a flanger or a chorus, whether it be time effect or
all the above,
modulate, whatever. But anyway, that's a new window that I haven't. This whole thing is just opening up all this stuff that I didn't expect, and it's all good. It's all fun. It's all guitar. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Right.
Well, there we are, folks. Charles will be back this Friday with Mitch. Rocking out Friday.
Love you, Mitch. Right on, man.
Eastern. Check it out, folks, if you haven't already. I'll be back tomorrow with Canucks with Guitars. Like I said, live jams, very Q&A. Cool. No bad album covers because Charles has the night off as well as Trev. So I'm just going to do a solo show. That'll be fun. And then for demos, don't know because I have to go out and make them first. I have none in the bank at the moment. I'm curious to see what they got in stock down there. Could be acoustic, could be electric, or could be both.
Nice.
That's right, Charles. Give that thumbs up. Be like Charles. Be cool like Charles. And Charles had a great show today. Thanks, Zach. And so hold the line here. Charles, we'll say our farewells off air. So hold those doors open, folks. Let McCullum Music in ahead of you. He's got like a commute that's 14 hours each way a day. What?
Got to hook him up.
Yeah, he's driving 28 hours a day. So
I love you guys. I'll see you guys, man. We'll see you out in YouTube land. You guys rock. You rock.
Good tone chasing. Remember, karma is real. Believe me, I know. It is. And of course, don't let her.